Hey guys, we're going to talk a little bit about roofs and roof lines. If you look up here, if I can get it to go up there. Up here, we've got an angled roof like this, all right? That is called a gable roof, all right? And there's different variations on that, like hip roofs and things like that. But if you have a roof that points in the middle, it's usually called a gable roof. If you have a roof with no points like this, that is usually what is called a lean-to roof. And there's a little something I want to teach you about putting a lean-to roof on a structure. I've looked all over the internet, and this is something I learned from my dad. My father was a contractor. He was a carpenter by trade. He was also a shop teacher. He worked in carpentry, he told me one time, for over 50 years. He started working with his granddad when he was 10 years old. This is a little trick I picked up from him. When you're building a large lean-to roof such as this, it makes your building a lot more structurally sound. Woohoo, visual aids. All right, this is an example of the rafters on a gable roof. This is looking at it from the end. The important thing I wanted to show you is this little cutout section here. That's what's called a bird's mouth. A bird's mouth helps to transfer the weight from down from the point of the roof to the plate of the wall. That's really all it does. It gives you a lot more surface area. So that's what that bird's mouth's for in a gable roof. However, what we have here is what's called a lean-to roof. If you look at this top picture, it starts at the front, runs to the back. There's a problem with lean-to roofs. If you don't secure the rafters really well, the building will actually separate at the top, because we don't have that force coming straight down and going to either side equalize like we do in a gable roof. So what you have to do when cutting rafters for a lean-to roof is you have to cut your bird's mouths in opposite directions. I've looked all over the internet and nobody told me to do this except for my dad a long time ago. So I'm going to show you my rafter pattern here. All right, this is my rafter pattern. There you see our bird's mouth. This is the back of the rafter. And as we go down here towards the front of the rafter, there's another bird's mouth pointing back at it. That is actually the proper way to cut rafters for a large lean-to roof. If you don't do this, your building will separate and pull apart. That wall and that wall will slowly pull apart from each other, so pretty soon your whole building has a bow in it. Now, I've hung a couple rafters up here, so we're going to go take a look at them and see how the bird's mouths actually hook into place. All right, so here we have a bird's mouth. It just hooks over that front plate. This is not a perfect angle, but I didn't want to go a whole lot further back because I didn't want to lose too much structural strength. But I'm overlapping by at least a ½ inch here. We toenail it into place, and that's going to hold that side in place. That bird's mouth from an opposite way, it is toenailed in place, and that shows that tension pulling against each other. Now, you might have noticed those rafters up there are pretty close together. Code, you can actually run them 24 inches on center. I'm running mine on 16 because we're going to be putting a metal roof on this building. I want it to be as strong as possible. 16 is probably overkill, but I'd rather have the building overbuilt than underbuilt. As far as layout of these rafters, when you're dealing with these lean-to roofs layout, a lot of times there's a lot of trial and error. The best thing to do is figure out about how much overhang you want on one side, and then use yourself a level to draw your first bird's mouth. Give yourself a level line, measure up 1.5 inches because that's how thick your plate is, and then kind of run a best guess line back, cut it out, see if it fits. If it doesn't work, lengthen it until your bird's mouths are done. A lot of your bird's mouths will have a look to them like this. When you're done, they're going to be a big, long, triangle looking thing, and that's what actually should end up on the ground, and that's what's scrapped. So Like I said, I looked all over the internet to find a video about this. I couldn't find one. So hopefully this helps somebody. Thanks.